basically sparking me to get in touch with you, and I end up sending you an email, and you said, I remember exactly who you are. And we end up having probably about an hour phone call going through the details of what I provided to the public. So you had arranged for me to show up in Washington and got in touch with some people with Senate Intel that basically took me into a meeting with them in their skiff in their building on Capitol Hill, and I presented them the same testimony. So prior to that, we end up meeting up with everybody, gave them my testimony, and then we end up making the trip up to Arrow office about 1 o'clock that day. And I gave Arrow that testimony. And Dr. Kirkpatrick, who's interviewed everybody, was obviously in the skiff with me, and he's the only one that I can name without getting in trouble for that. But he is the one I think interviewed everybody, who's as the director should have done the right thing and would have done the right thing if he actually was not carrying water for people, which is what we end up finding out, right?
Right.
And so gave them my testimony. And then I came forward publicly in June with your 2-day event, and then the press club right after that, I think, was on a Monday, which is when I came forward publicly, and everybody now know from that date on what I've been talking about. Publicly in June with your 2-day event, and then the press club right after that, I think, was on a Monday, which is when I came forward publicly, and everybody now know from that date on what
So the next gentleman I'd like to introduce has become a figure of great support for us. He's a Marine who in 2009 in Indonesia had a direct encounter with one of the man-made operations, and he is Michael Herrera. He has very courageously come forward. The first time he contacted me, because I know of these sort of operations that he came across on his mission, I told him that every single person I knew who knew about what he had seen had not lived to tell this story. He is enormously courageous. Thank you, and welcome to Michael Herrera.
And just however you want to look at that. Once we got down this slope, we were approximately 150 meters away from this craft. When we all got to the point where we could see it, just like behind here, again, Mr. 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗶𝗁, phenomenal job. You can see that the craft here actually was roughly about 300 feet. And the reason why I know this is because you could fit 3 of the helicopters that we flew in on underneath this craft. It was rotating a clockwise motion. The panels here that you see, the black ones, at least 3 of them, was like a Vanta black, very dark. I have no idea what that was. On the very top, there was like a pyramid structure that you could see the shadowing of it, which would elicit that was a pyramid structure. On the very top, there was like a pyramid structure that you could see the shadowing of it, which would elicit that was a pyramid structure.